Hi, Kingsley. I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to say a few things before I go because I've got to work. Thank you for having me. Let's talk about Onyeka's parents. Now, we have to discuss the fact that Gen X and other Nigerian parents, I'm part Nigerian, I'm not 100%, but I've been there many times. I have family members there. They choose to put their children, when they come to Europe or America, in 100% white schools. Now, I know someone's going to come here and say, oh, but they're the best schools, they're the best schools. There are some schools that have mixed, diverse student bodies that are excellent schooling. And you wonder why the desire to put them in these £30,000 term schools where there's not one black person, there's not even a black community in the town or village. And those children have these mindsets. Every single Nigerian woman I've met who's gone to British boarding school, I'm a working class Nigerian, West African girl, but I went to university and I met these types of girls. They had an inferiority complex. They thought that they were ugly. They thought their bodies were not good because they were not stick thin. Even if the girls were slim, they had many inferiority. They had no proximity to the black communities in the countries they go to because they don't associate with us. If you're not upper class, they don't associate with you, which I understand, but also it leads to this complete divestment. And let's also talk about the fact that all of her siblings are married to white people, apparently. I know her sister is, people claim her brother is too. Let's not talk about the fact that many Nigerian grandparents want light-skinned children. Let me tell the truth, my mother's mixed and some of her family members have married in Nigeria. When they come to visit family members, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. And my cousin is like, listen, my cousin's beautiful, but she's like, listen, it's just because I'm light-skinned. I'm going to the market and people are talking about how beautiful I am because she's light-skinned. Let's be real. They want those light-skinned grandchildren they can put on their WhatsApp profile picture. That's what they want. So I'm not going to drag Onyeka. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. So they want light skin. They want their children to have proximity to whiteness. They want light skinned grandchildren, and this is the result of it. And it's embarrassing, but it's true.
Yeah, it is. No, I hear you, and I'm going to say you're not wrong. I mean, I in a sense, I actually have some sympathy to Onyeka. From what I see, I think she's just the product of what her parents put in her mind. Children typically their reactions to the parents, and I have seen African parents go extra mile to put their kids in all white places, and I know for sure she has deep low racial self-esteem. I mean, I feel, you know what? I think she's not a victim in the context of this Danish disability stuff.
Yes.
But I think overall, I actually do have so much empathy for her.
Yeah, I completely agree with both perspectives, but I think it's a bit unfair to generalize in the sense that all Nigerians are like this. People like Onyeka are like the minority of what a Nigerian is. And the reason why I agree with the former speaker that her parents are, I mean, even the way her parents were scammed, if that was a Nigerian man and he asked for their bank details, they won't give it to them. But because it was a white man, so to me, that showed me a lot about how that family works. I hear people saying her siblings are married to white people very obviously. But the reason why I don't have empathy for Onyeka is an adult. And at some point, an adult is supposed to see, no matter how unique, there are many Nigerian people that also went to white schools, grew up around white people that end up, because eventually, if that's your experience, you're going to see that the white people don't accept you. You're going to do everything. When I was a teenager, I was in that situation. I wanted to be a white girl so badly, but I think at some point before, when I went to university, I started I started becoming upset that I was starving myself and being this person. I'm still not good enough, so at some point, she has overlooked all of that and she really wanted him. And to me, the reason why I think she's a bad person is you brought somebody into your life, they are scamming you, still allow them to scam your friends and your family. Yeah. And it also shows that her friends and her family, they are like her and they're also bad people, because the fact that nobody was telling another person is because this is a white man. Yeah, if this prince is asking us for money, let's all give him. It wasn't just about him asking them for money. It was also about them trying to play into the role that they are assigning, that they assign to each other. He's a prince and they're a rich family or whatever. There's an image that Onyeka's family and friends were desperate to uphold, or maybe this is a Meghan Markle story and she's going to marry a prince. And so everybody was willing to do that. And the reason why I say that we shouldn't, there are many Nigerian people that are real wealthy people that won't even marry people that are not Nigerians. So she's a minority. The way I saw it,
she's a minority. She's absolutely a minority, that's for sure.
But also she's that Nigerian that is lost in the diaspora. Onyeka cannot even go to Nigeria because she won't fit in. She won't like people because the average Nigerian wants to be affiliated with their home. But if you have a Nigerian who doesn't want to be, that's how she was socialized. And that's what, to me, she's not a good person. The fact that you brought somebody into your life, you are traveling, like when people are now posting all of those videos, I'm like, wait, you were broke, you were in debt, you were having all these issues and you're making all these videos, you're traveling and we went to this place. It was very annoying. I don't have any empathy for her, and I like the way people are holding her accountable, and her reaction video shows her to be exactly who she is. I'll leave it for
I'm with the Onyeka situation. The reason why this this topic is very, very interesting is because I've lived around Europe, obviously for work reasons, and I've come across a lot of Onyekas. I've come across a lot of them. And so I lived in Germany for a while because of work. And one of my very, very good friends was actually German, cool guy. We used to go out, and we used to go out to a lot of, I would say like urban places, Afro beats, and Kingsley, the amount of Onyekas that used to pop up. Oh,
I can imagine that.
I've seen it to a point where so I was with my friend this time and, we were just having fun, drinking. And there was one girl, Nigerian, funny enough, but she was a British-born Nigerian. So, I noticed there was some sort of interest towards my friend. So obviously I'm speaking to my friend like, what's the situation? You feeling her? He's like, no disrespect, but he wasn't really feeling her. Nothing to do with her race, whatnot, but he just wasn't feeling her. Kingsley, the way this girl was begging, I felt bad for her. The way this woman was begging. Like, I was thinking what's up with that? So I think I must have told her, listen, my boy, obviously he's not really feeling the situation, this, that. Kingsley, the way this woman was begging, I'm like, it's not even that deep. It's not even that deep. But of course, I could tell her type was a particular, not even particular, was white dudes. So when the story of Onyeka came about, there's a lot of them. Don't think this is just a anomaly, and it's not even just a Nigerian thing. I've been around, I've lived in Sweden. It's the same thing with some women who are from Uganda, Kenya. To be honest, I don't even think Nigerian women, when it comes to this, are even the worst, Kingsley. If you met these other Africans from Uganda, Kenya, Zimbabwe,
East Africans are the worst, man.
I'm just saying, based on me traveling, of course, overall, yeah, it's an African problem. But in terms of this putting white men on a pedestal, and from my experience, I've noticed a lot of, like you said, East Zimbabwe, Kenya, these other African pockets where, bro, they just worship white men to another level. And like I said, there's no problem. You love who you love, but when it gets to a point where somebody's scamming your family and you're blinded by love and you're just taking outright disrespect, then it's a problem.
So what I'm saying is, right, this situation is not surprising, This ain't the first time I've seen these type of situations, right? Another BLK American woman had the same thing, but the difference is she had a child with this guy. and they didn't marry at all. And you know, she bought a Range Rover and stuff for like 100,000 plus. She was paying all the bills while the YT man was just being a bum. You know, like they call a lot of BLK men bums, but this YT man was actual bum. And this happened in America as well. But this one was worse because the American one was worse because not only did they have a child together, but she put a car that's over 100 grand, $100,000 in her name, and she was paying all the bills. So you know,
That's
this
actually
is
very common. That's actually
yeah,
very
yeah,
common, Antiraku.
yeah.
A lot of black women sustain their white partners. That is fact.
Yeah. So
A lot, not
I'm
all,
not,
a lot.
yeah, I'm not surprised that I've seen another situation as well. And I think, quite frankly, right, the problem I have with British Africans is I feel like that a lot of British Africans who I socialize with, they don't really indulge in their culture. They don't really, you know, practice their culture. I'm a Ghanaian, right? I'm from Ghana, right next to Togo, Burkina Faso and stuff, right? Me growing up in a Ghanaian household, I will know that also, you know, it's ideal for me to bring myself a Ghanaian woman or a woman of West African descent. Now, a lot of a lot of days, right? I see people not really trying to have that identity within themselves. A lot of people are very insecure of where they're from. So I also feel like the UK the British Africans, right, also an issue because a lot of them don't really practice their culture and practice their heritage. And I think this is what's happening right here because she feels like her Nigerian heritage is you know is a bad thing. She's had a bad upbringing maybe, and you know that's why she wants to date out because she kind of wants to delineate from her culture a bit. She wants to mix up her culture. So a lot of these British African people, right, do have an insecure. They do have a lot of insecurities within themselves because a lot of them are not really proud of where they're from. This is where, you know, sometimes you have to learn who's an actual real person in your life. You can't just be friends with anyone. Like, I'm not dating a BLK woman who's had these internalized racial hate for themselves. I'm not dating someone that is insecure by their culture. And I think a lot of mistakes a lot of people do is they're too quickly to let people into their spaces and getting to know them. So I think the best thing for BLK people to do is you need to actually identify someone who is aligned with their culture and who understands that dating someone from your culture is very important. And also bringing a woman like a reflection of your family is also important. And this is where there's a lot of disconnect with quite myself and a lot of British black Africans because they will try to bring anyone from any culture. And it just doesn't work like that. You cannot bring a YT man home. You can't bring a YT woman home. And these are the same ones going on TV saying, if a BLK woman or BLK man comes to our household, it wouldn't work because we're too different. We're socially different. We economically are different. So I think if we're going to learn about culture, I think parents need to teach that bringing someone from your own culture is very important. And you know, because you don't see Indians or Somalians bringing someone outside of their culture other than BLK people.
I agree with you. I don't know if black British, I mean, using Kenny, a lot of black British people, I don't know, they despise the
That's what I'm
woman.
saying, man. Auntie Kemi's their leader. Look, I'm not gonna lie, it's
They hate
sparkling
her,
nowadays in the
bro.
community. It's sparkling nowadays.
What is your profile picture, bro? What is the fuck is that?
It's basically the YT man taking the BLK man and the woman away into their community. So that's my whole description. I'm against those who have internalized racism for themselves and you know BLK people. But if you're gonna be anti-BLK, I might as well just call animal control on you and ask them to take you away because you're a COON. So yeah, really and truly, I would tell the truth. You don't like
I
it, man.
got
That's
you.
your own.
I got you, bro. Well, I really want to ask the ladies a question now, right? Like, now, ladies, listen, look, I got you guys. I hold you guys in high regard. So I'm trying to ask the ladies a question. Like, do you think, because again, it was exposed that, this lady, Onyeka, she used to be on this dating show, was it Big Brother or something like that? Clearly, she has a type. But the way I see it is like she's trying to force herself. I feel sorry for her. You know what I mean? I can speak to the ladies here, right? And I genuinely feel sorry for her from the distance because when I put myself in her shoes, it's almost like she's in a, I think it was Eno that said it earlier, or actually, I don't remember. But somebody said that, well, I don't know. Somebody alluded to the point that she's trying to, I don't know, force, like change herself all the time. And I don't know, she doesn't come off as somebody who's happy.
No, I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I don't think so. And I think because she has many masks, she has many different
Yeah.
masks. That's why we find is people are finding it very hard to connect with her because she's wearing several masks. The first mask is I would describe it as it's not even a Nigerian mask. It's an African mask of appearances. What will people think? You know, that's very strong for African people of all regions. What is everyone else going to say? So that's her first mask. That's how her whole family, to me, it looks like they operate on what is everybody saying? We have to act a certain way for the culture, for the African society around us. That's number one. Then she has another face of, imagine having to fit in through all school. And also, we know white men prefer white women, okay? Yes, I've been approached by white men, but I'm not saying, oh, there's some sort of special thing that you can't get. But especially, let's say in school, where it's more about socially and there's pressure, there's teenage pressure, the white boys are going to date the white girls, right? Facts. Ask any black girl that's gone to an all-white school. She'll tell you, I didn't get dates, I didn't go to prom, even if they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That's how it is, right? So she's had that. So you see your friends, and someone told me that in Dallas, people get married very early. Even by 25, a lot of people are married. So all your friends are married. It's hard to get married for you because you're choosing people, a group that may not necessarily want you completely. And so that's why she's trying to think, okay, the reason why they're not picking me is because of this, because of that. So she's put on several masks and she's very successful. Somebody went on her LinkedIn. She worked at very good companies. She was very successful. She said she bought her own house. She has her own car. So she's wanting people that may not necessarily want her, and it has damaged her psyche. So I actually believe she would need long-term therapy to uncover the truth of who she really is, and not based on her family, not based on white society and YT supremacy. And if she actually managed to do that, I think that she would actually come, but I actually don't believe she even knows who she really is. Even though she's 30, she doesn't. She's wearing 5 or 6 masks. Who's the real Onyeka? Please stand up.
But Kingsley, Kingsley, one thing, yeah, I've noticed, especially when it comes to Onyeka, if there was like a black equivalent in terms of a black man, I've noticed that, especially with like the woman who just spoke, why is there, whenever it's always like a black woman, white man, there's always a level of sympathy, understanding, go get therapy. But if it was a black dude, there would be no mercy for him. They'll call him a coon. They'll drag him. They'll drag all black men. Black men don't like women, but when it comes
not the way you guys would have dragged the man though. He's right.
But when it comes to Onyeka, it's like, oh, she's lost. Let's look at her family. Let's try to understand her. She didn't go to, like, why isn't that sympathy given to like black men that went to like all white schools?
Because the numbers are different. I just think the basis of the numbers are different.
Okay, man, you can't be using numbers, please.
Guys, come on. I don't want. Okay, guys. I get it. I don't want it to become one of those rowdy lists. I get you. So, is that question?
Yeah, I'll just leave that there. I'll drop it.
So, Angel, give a quick response because I'm assuming he's putting that out there. Okay, you know what? Let's put it out there to the ladies. I know we've got Angel. Angel, give me quick response to him, and then we'll go to Eno, that we can have Ferry and Dr. Financial Kumbuyan, then we can have a book part and everybody can speak. You know, I don't like controlling people like we're in high school or something. So, Angel, respond quickly.
Okay, I will say, listen, I understand. I hear you when you say that if the tables were turned, it would be different. But we have to also be real that interracial relationships on both there's a difference between men and BLK men and BLK women. Historically, the numbers, the societal reaction, and the reasons behind it. Let's just be real. It's not an even playing field. That's probably why you feel like, oh my God, there's so much backlash when a BLK man is with a YT woman. But it's just not the same. That's all I have to say. Men and women are different. That's my opinion.
Man, come on.
I completely agree with Angel but I don't agree that we should give Onyeka grace. I think we should as a community, call out both, like the same way we would treat a man in this instance is the same way we should treat Onyeka, because she represents, I mean, I'm very ashamed as a Nigerian woman that was a Nigerian woman. Because I know in Nigeria, women would be like, God forbid, that can never happen to me. I'm giving a man money. Am I crazy? But I feel like there was something, was it Rose or Auntie said? And I think it's a bit unfair to say that, to imply that Black people should actively only seek Black people. I think, again, on the ratio of male to female, it's easier for men. If a man actively wants to marry a Black woman, he can. If a woman will, there's a lot of things that you need to sift through. There's a lot of things that you need to... I'm not trying to have a feminist conversation, but it's easier for a man than for a woman, because we have to see through a lot of things. And at some point, as a woman, you have to decide. But I guess what I'm trying to say is this. If you are actively looking for someone that is healthy for you and safe and treats you right, you are different, and that person happens to be Indian or whatever, not Black, you are different from somebody who's actively looking. And in my own perspective, the interracial relationships between whites and Black, which is where the power imbalance really lies, the good ones are usually the ones that are not looking, or the ones that are not interested. That wasn't their first choice. But people like Onyeka would not even imagine dating somebody who was not that guy. She would not have tolerated a lot of things that he did, a lot of things that he said, and even the way she talks about her own people, that somebody even said to her, I thought you were Nigerian, about the scam thing. And then she was like, oh yeah, that's true. Like, first of all, no white is sane enough to even say that in my presence. So they already perceived her a certain way. When she talks about the Rolex, I was like, do you know how many people have Rolex in your village in the east of Nigeria? You're talking about a fake Rolex that, oh, don't bring that to Nigeria because that will not be safe. That shows you again the perspective, and also for her is either that white man or nothing. So I'm just trying to say that while we're having this conversation, let's try and be, I'm not saying it's because I'm married to a white man. That's not the reason why I'm saying. I'm saying it so that if you're a woman and you meet a man that treats you well, and that man is from India, you don't say, oh, I have to look for a Black man. I did that for years. At some point, I had to say to myself, I have biological clock. I want to have children. I have to decide that maybe this is not, maybe I'm not that lucky as my friends who have found Black. That was what I wanted. So let's try and let's not be, I'll leave it there.
To be too lenient. Okay, fair. Okay, you know what? Let's give the three ladies that haven't spoken a chance to speak. Let's start with Ferry. Ferry, I'll give you 2 minutes. After Ferry, we're going to go to Dr. Financially Flamboyant and then Infinity. After that, we can have like 15 minutes just open panel. Okay, Ferry, please, 2 minutes. Okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm disappointed by the opinions I've heard so far. I think in the Black community, we have a big problem with hyper-fixating on what women do. You did it with Jada. Now you're starting with Onyeka. Please stop. I've seen videos of people talking about she's tucking her hair behind her ears. She wants to be a white woman. She's whitewashed. That's crazy. And I think it's very, very damaging. And I think people don't realize that. To say on here that there's a different reaction that Black women get and Black women don't get as strong as reaction than Black men is a bold-faced lie. When you have men like, what's that golfer? What's his name? That Black golfer that
Tiger Woods.
Thank you. When he's only dating white women, when you got these basketball players, these football players that are only dating white women, that are giving all their money to white women, you guys are not saying anything though. There's a big, very loud silence. No. Not to this degree. I'm sorry.
Look at Bukayo's.
That's not true. That's not true, ma'am. That's not true. Ma'am, that's not true.
I don't think it's your time to speak. There is no comparison.
Guys, Roses and Antiraku. Even if you disagree with her, let her land. Okay? Please. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you. There is no comparison. It's because she is a Black woman, and specifically a Nigerian woman, that there's so many talking points, this, that, and that, right? Do I agree with everything she did? Absolutely. Would I personally do certain things that she did? Absolutely not. But then for people to sit on here saying that Onyeka doesn't know who Onyeka... Do you know Onyeka? Do you know her? No, nobody knows this girl.
Who
Do you
you
understand what I'm trying
asking?
to say? Anyway, do you know what I'm trying to say? In the Black community, we have this thing where people can't be like an individual. If she chooses to date white men, that's her business, honestly. Do I date white men? Not personally. That's not me. But if that's what she's choosing to do and she's navigating these issues, that's her choice. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's not for people to jump. Now she brought it to the internet, so obviously she's inviting conversation. I can recognize that. But at the end of the day, it's her choice to do that. I haven't seen enough backlash on this man that was going around scamming people. As much backlash that we're seeing for her. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? There is a discrepancy there. People aren't talking about how he scammed her, right? And we can say that maybe it's because she's insecure about certain things and she's this and she's that. Well, whatever. He still is a predator and recognize that she might be naive. Yes, I do think that. I think some men are predators if they're recognizing the naivety and exploiting that. Absolutely. And I think that's what he potentially did.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But,
I hear you. I hear you. I don't agree, but I hear you, right? I hear you.
Yeah.
Just a quick question for you. She wasn't scammed, though. She actually offered to give him money.
No, but I think she was manipulated. I think she was manipulated. That's what I'm saying. If somebody is a predator, they're manipulative. They can recognize that, okay, she's insecure. Okay, she might be naive in certain ways, and they're taking advantage of that fact. And I think that's what he did. I genuinely do think that.
We'll circle back to that, okay? Let's give Dr. Financially for from the chat. And then Infinity to me. We can all talk for like 15 minutes. Doctor, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, Kingsley, or should I say, good evening. But basically, I wanted to say that this is, I love my Black men, and I'm going to always bring it back to the Black man, because you lot don't understand how much power you have and how much strength you have. A lot of Black men in the past in the football, I second what that lady just said, in the past have chosen white women. Whatever field you're in and you're successful, you choose to put a white woman on your arm. And now this is what's happening. The women are now following your lead, because it's like a lot of Black women have to have the struggle love before they can get the kind love, and it's not fair. And so we follow the man's lead to a certain degree. Do you understand? We start now having to navigate and look in other places where we are going to be respected and appreciated. Now, in Onyeka's case, I feel like she was a little bit naive, and you were in a hurry to get the ring to settle down. As Black women, if you're a successful Black woman or you're on your way to being successful, be patient. And I don't think Onyeka would have given the same grace that she gave to that man to a Black man. That is my only issue with her. I don't think what happened to her was fair. I think it was very wrong what happened to her. But again, it all comes down to how the Black men have conducted their business and the way they have treated Black women in the past. And now Black women are realizing that, you know what, if they're going to choose these kind of women, we're going to have to, steer the ship a little bit and choose other men, because our own men are not even protecting us.
So you're blaming Black men?
Sorry?
You're blaming Black men?
This is a blaming game. She's playing a blaming game. She's playing a blaming game. Blaming game.
No, guys, chill.
Kingsley.
So, Doctor, you want 30 seconds to that?
No. Kingsley, this is the thing. I am not blaming Black men, right? What I'm trying to tell you is that in the past, Kingsley, we've had to stand there and watch our men choose other nations over us, Kingsley. Do you understand? We've had to sit there and be the ugly ducklings. Do you understand?
But Onyeka doesn't like Black men. She doesn't like Black men.
That's her you're right. You're right
You're
about
being
that. But
hypocritical.
that's an
This is
insecurity on
hypocritical.
her head or whoever's.
Okay. Doctor, we'll circle back to that. Let's just give him finish his
Okay.
chance to speak, and then we can have an open.
I didn't get to land though, but it's okay.
Okay. Land quickly, doctor. Quickly, please.
My point is, Kingsley, yeah, we all got to take accountability for our action, right? She doesn't like he said, she doesn't like black men, but why is that? Who taught her that? Where did that come from?
Maybe personal preference. I don't know. I mean,
well, all I'm saying
mommy?
is that for all other women and all other men, because we're not just going to talk about just her specific issue alone. I'm just saying, like, choose yourself, choose your culture, because as bad as black men are, I'm always going to pick my black man. I'm so sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm so sorry.
Doctor,
So ma'am, you're not really making sense, are you?
Finish to the floor.
Yeah, so the reason why I came up, right, initially was I wanted to respond to that Roses guy. I don't know his full name, but I'll just call him Roses, about lack of BLK women not holding them accountable. So I 1,000% disagree with that. That was ultimate cap. If you actually watch her video, she even speaks on the fact that she's getting the most hate from BLK women. So let's not do this rhetoric that BLK women aren't calling her out. Most of the women that were criticizing her and her actions were actually BLK women. The fact that the woman herself, Onyeka, actually had to say that obviously confirms that. So please don't do that. In response, though, to the woman herself, Onyeka, she's not a victim. Absolutely, she's not. And I think we have to also be a bit careful with just calling out her actions as well and where she's done wrong. I think there is a few people who kind of want to, and I get why, but I think they sometimes want to make a bit of excuses simply because she's an African woman. I don't think that's fair as well. I think, again, like what a few people have mentioned, right, on the panel, I think she kind of grew up in an environment where she's kind of aligned herself with, I guess, certain races. Even if you go to her group circle, right, I don't think there's actually any BLK women that she's friends with, apart from maybe like family members and sisters and things like that. So she herself she's pretty much like removed herself, maybe not from the community, but she kind of wants to me, it looks like she's kind of, she wants to belong in other races, personally, in my opinion. So I don't think she kind of deserves any, I'm not saying sympathy, but she doesn't deserve any this like pity kind of thing, because again, I don't see her really, I don't think she'll be someone that will be trying to defend BLK women if there was any issues or any problems. So I think we have to be a little bit careful with that. But again, initially the reason why I came here was because of Roses, about him saying how, BLK women haven't held her accountable, that's just a 100% lie.
Cool. Okay, so guys, we're about to enter open panel. I want the guys to speak, because the ladies dominated. The ladies have to speak first. So it's open panel. Like, and please, all I ask.
Listen, you can ask a question.
Why don't you already? I'm speaking and you already interrupt me.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
All I ask, I don't like patrolling open panel. I want people to speak. But all I ask everybody, especially to the men, because you guys have been the one coming up me interrupting the women. It's open panel. When somebody is speaking, just respect them to land. And if somebody is speaking, wait for it. And also when you're speaking, understand that other people need to speak. That's all I want, please. So I want the guys to go, because you guys haven't said anything. Rose, the mic is yours, and then please also respect other people who are speaking, okay?
Yeah, Kingsley. One thing, and also as well, one thing I've also noticed as well. So let's say, for example, and I think a lot of the guys on the panel would agree. If Onyeka, the Danish deception guy would have gotten her pregnant, she would have had a mixed race kid. He would have left, or they got a divorce. I'm telling you, the people who would have got blamed for that situation would still be black men, because a lot of people, like some women on this panel, would say, "Oh well, if it wasn't for a black man who didn't give her any love and who didn't respect her, she wouldn't have got pregnant. You know what I mean? So with black men, it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. We had nothing to do with this situation. She loves white dudes. Kingsley, she went on a show. She went on a love show to chase a white dude. The dude apparently ended up being gay or something.
Yeah, he
ended up being gay down that.
and he stopped her.
Exactly. And one thing that I've noticed, and I've had this example, especially me living around Europe traveling, a lot of black women will get knocked up by a white dude. The white dude will run off. Then they will try and chase the black brother to be the stepdad. I'm not being no stepdad. No disrespect. I'm not being no stepdad off your mistakes.
That's the thing.
What? Has he landed yet?
That's the thing.
Has he landed?
Yeah, I've landed.
Cool. So let me tell you my point, right?
Go on, Interracial.
No, it's as a kid. Listen, right? I think we've all come to a time and age where we're old enough to choose who we date. Can't be blaming BLK men for your dating choices. You might have had bad anecdotal experiences. You should evaluate yourself. You should read. You should learn about yourself before dating others. The problem is a lot of BLK women like to get in multiple relationships, multiple talking stages. That's not going to help. That's going to make things worse for you. So you saying that, oh, it's BLK men's fault, even though we like BLK men, it's just disingenuous. And I'll say the same thing for BLK men as well.
To me,
Yeah, I'm saying what you're saying is disingenuous. BLK men also have a choice of who they date. If you know you've dated a bad BLK woman, maybe ask yourself why you dated her, and maybe ask yourself, who should I date next? Take steps, take a journey for yourself to find the right BLK woman. I think it's just delusional when we play the blaming game instead of all of us taking accountability. If the BLK man dated outside his race, and this happened to him, Emmanuel B as an example, right? Ivorian footballer. His wife took everything. That's his fault, man. He should have known what white women are like.
Where did you first saw interracial relationships begin from? Where did you first see that stem from? Can I ask you that question? Where did you first see that stem from?
Hold on, no. You're not going to speak why. No. Listen, right? You have a choice. Don't try and say historical stuff. You have a choice.
No.
Take accountability. No, it's not about history. Forget history.
No, it's
you
a
have
part
a choice.
of the problem.
No. You have a choice. You have a choice, man. You have a choice. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'd like to say this.
Okay, you choose. No. Look, all I'm saying is you have a choice in 2025 of who you date. You date outside your race and you know the consequences. That is your own fault. No one else's apart from you. So you take accountability and learn that dating outside your race is harmful. That's all I was saying.
Got you. So it's open panel still, guys. I just wanted to come in so that you guys.
Well, I'm gonna give it to Dr. Financial.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think it's dating outside your race per se. I think it's the intent, right? I think if you're looking to date outside your race solely because you think it's going to just for like strange reasons, right? That's the problem. I think if you genuinely find like love outside your race, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sorry for a second, yeah. I'm gonna say what I'm saying. I feel like I've been on Kingsley's panel a lot, and this guy's always here, and he's very biased when it comes to these kind of topic. It has a lot.
Well, you was interrupting me when I was speaking.
You
interrupt me when you speak to me.
Very biased. Very biased.
Oh, be a man, come on.
I've been on this panel and I've always hear him over talking.
You was interrupting me. You was over talking as well.
You are very biased.
Me as well.
You are very biased. You're always biased because you and Kingsley's friends. You are very, very biased. And I'm going to say it again. You're a very biased man. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why I say that, right? Because at the end of the day, history plays a lot in a lot of our lives. Do you understand? From a child growing up, history plays a lot in all of our lives. Yeah. Culture plays a lot in all of our lives. Now, I ask this question, where did we first see interracial situations start happening?
You're playing the victim card.
It started happening from the footballers, the golfers, and that's what we all saw. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Do you have
Can you just let
evidence?
her finish, man?
Yeah,
Do you have
Man,
no,
evidence?
what's the matter with
he
you?
likes to argue with a black
I'm not
woman.
arguing.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's.
asking. Do you have evidence?
You
That
I'm
is
claim
sorry,
that you
but
want
the
to
way
be a
he's acting
leader,
is
he
so
but
likes
yeah,
to
you
crazy.
go
want to be
back and
petty.
forth
Come
with a
on.
black
It's
woman. He
weird.
wants black women to take accountability all the time.
But you're not
But
taking
as a
accountability. Why did you go on
man,
the media and talk
have
about
some
it?
balls,
You could
sir.
you
Have
could have
some
kept it
balls and go
inside your
argue with
house.
men. Go and have some balls and argue with
I do
men.
argue with men.
You're very
I argue with
biased.
everyone.
You're always biased on
Okay, host. Let me ask you a question. Host, let me ask you a question.
Kingsley's platform.
Host,
You are
host,
very biased, man.
shouting.
You're very
Host, let me ask you a
biased,
question.
man.
Okay.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh,
That was
shush,
disgusting.
man. Stop playing the
Guys,
It was
sisterhood card.
disgusting.
Stop playing the sisterhood card, man.
The
Shush.
sisterhood card.
Okay,
That's disgusting.
Auntie Raccoon, I have to disconnect you because you were not listening.
Yeah, I'm even surprised you've been that patient.
I don't like doing that genuinely because I like to. But when I'm hosting a live, I like to make sure I think about my audience. I think very well about my audience. I want my audience, even if it's 1 or 2 or 5 people or 10, I like them to enjoy the show. It's not about being fair, Auntie Raccoon. You were not listening, man. You were interrupting. Request back up, Auntie Raccoon, but please promise that you're going to respect when other people are speaking.
But I'd like to say that.
Doctor, I'll come to you. Dr. Flamboyant, if you're still there, please, because I want us to have conversation.
Right.
I mean, if I'm speaking and you are speaking and both are speaking, go listen. You can't hear each other. You can't hear me. What's the point? You understand? So I don't get it. But anyway, Auntie Raccoon, request back up. Dr. Flamboyant, request back up. I want us to have a chat. And I want the other people that haven't spoken to speak. I don't want you guys to dominate the conversation. I don't know who wants to go now.
Yeah, I would like to say this. I would like to say this.
Well, I've been waiting, please. I think I don't have much to say, but I just feel like if we're going to have a conversation, we don't always have to agree. There's no need to demonize everyone. You can, maybe you don't agree, make your own point. The point is that we're all learning. We're women, we're learning from men. We don't
What about Mumsy?
Oh, do you see what oh my gosh. My gosh.
Stop interrupting. That's annoying. But we don't have to agree with what he's saying. We don't have to agree with each other all the time. Then what's the point of a conversation? I'll leave it there.
But I'd like to say this. I feel like men like Auntie are the biggest problem in the Black community, right? They front as if they're pro-Black, but in reality, they're pro-self, right? He obviously clearly, by his behavior, has a disdain for Black women for whatever reason, right? But that's not something that we're going to navigate here. Go and deal with that in your personal life. If you're coming on here speaking to women, best believe you're going to have to be respectful. Like, this is disgusting. That was no, the way you were speaking to her was disgusting and embarrassing. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Because when we're talking, I'm still speaking. I'm still speaking. Yeah. So when we're talking about accountability in the Black community, best believe society holds Black women accountable. Period. Whether she wants to be accountable or not, whether she feels accountable or not, society is always going to hold a Black woman accountable. That's why we're having this conversation right now.
Host, if this BLK woman held us accountable,
Guys, you guys see how patient I'm trying to be, right? I'm trying not to be. Auntie Raccoon, can you hear me?
Okay, host, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, then wait. I have to put some ground rules. Don't tell her to shush. Just like I wouldn't allow her to tell you to shush. I have there's a way I run my panel. I don't like chaos. I know it's called chaotic life. I like respect because I think of my audience. I want you to have a good time. I want you to be heard, just like I want Stevie to be heard as well. You can disagree like Eno said. You can disagree. It is what it is, life, man. But you can have a conversation. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to tell her to shush. Just like I wouldn't let her tell you to shush. Make your point, Auntie Raccoon.
And when you address me by my name. Do not say that Black woman.
Listen, please.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, please. I don't know your name, BLK.
Your parents are failures. That's what I'm
saying.
Okay. Perfect.
The host, now she went personal. So this is where I'm more educated than her because I haven't gone personal. Now she's got my parents. She has no proof. You have no proof, man. Ma'am, you have no proof what you're saying, right?
Okay.
So let me go back to let me talk about this, right? Ma'am, if the BLK woman held herself accountable, right, she would not have put the story on social media that she got scammed. that was very idiotic of her to put that story on the media. You think I can ever put something so personal on the media? A lot of BOK women put personal stuff on the media. It's crazy. You put it on TikTok, Instagram, just for the whole world to say that the stereotype is real. This is why BOK women get the stereotypes, because you put important stuff that's supposed to be in-house on the media. You're not supposed to put these stories on the media. You're supposed to sort it out with the authorities and sort it out with solicitors where this man can get sued for fraud, for doing fraud against you. It's like, man, if you're gonna say BOK women held themselves accountable, the single mother race doesn't say that, because the single mother race is high in America and the UK. So are you really holding yourselves accountable? Because the last time I checked, you lot are having children with these low life men that are going to jail for 10 years to 15 years for robbery and doing all sorts. You have a stereotype in your community against you lot. You have stuff on the
Are
media.
you not black?
Hold on.
In your community.
I am BOK. I'm for
That's
myself, all right?
suspicious.
I'm BOK. Anyways, BOK women have a stereotype given to them because of how they portray themselves on the media. Ma'am, if you held yourself accountable, you wouldn't be interacting with those medias. You wouldn't be behaving like a monolith where you think you've done something bad and now you want to hold other people accountable. If you've done something bad with yourself, you should hold yourself accountable. You shouldn't be trying to call other people out. And the BOK man that dates outside the race and also gets the same backlash, yeah, he has to he has to hold himself accountable. But man, what you're saying is just not right, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have a stereotype on the media. Yeah,
Okay, so
Actually,
I want us to respond and other people should speak.
okay, thank you. No, I would like to say something because he was speaking to me, to my point. So yeah, I think that little tangent you went on was it was cute. It was cute. But like I said, society holds Black women accountable. And you just proved that by your statement of saying we have the stereotype. It's based on that stereotype that holds us accountable. Duh. But anyway, Doctor, you can continue, please.
Okay, so Kingsley, I just want to say, yeah, let me. I'm not afraid to say I'm a single mother. I am a single mother. Do you understand? And I always say culture plays a huge part in that. You know, I'm Jamaican, I'm Caribbean. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I come from a culture where it's rich in a lot of things, but then when it comes to family and unity, it's not very rich in that area. When I was doing what I was doing to create my children, it was from a place of love, and it was not from a place of stupidity. So when people say things like, "Oh, we take accountability," I take accountability every single day for my actions. Do you understand? Hence why I don't go out there as a broken person. All people. Do you understand what I'm saying? But with this woman,
I feel so too.
because she could have kept it to herself, but she didn't. She broke it for the fame, the hype, the attention. Do you understand? No, don't be in a hurry to hand yourself out to help people differently. And I will always say this, Kingsley, yeah, I just feel like Black women don't get enough love and care. And the thing is, we give you lot so much grace. And that's just how it is for me. There's no manual in the world on being a perfect human being.
All right. So if I just bringing it back to Onyeka personally, I want us to circle back to what the conversation. I don't feel any empathy, or I don't feel so. I mean different. Put it that way. I just feel like I totally understand people's perspective. I get it. I respect that. In fact, I see her more as an op to both Black women and Black men, because the way I've seen her side men is that I've seen, because people need to understand something. In fact, she's not the average Nigerian, like they say. She's, in Nigeria, there's something called Ajebota and Ajebango. For those of you who do not know what that means, Ajebota is like the kids of these rich people in Nigeria. Even if you have people like Onyeka, even in Nigeria, like the kids of this really rich Nigerian who act as if other Nigerians think. I've seen them. Kids of senators, governors, business people who act more white than the white people, right? I've seen that. And the reason I say she's an up is someone who's an echo. If I'm echoing, it's because she will throw you under the bus in a minute. But I'll let you guys let Chris speak so that I can speak. I don't know, man. My mic is on and off. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, to be honest with this whole situation, I think the things that kind of like aggravates me the most, that kind of annoys me the most is that she's kind of got away with it scot-free. She's making videos about it because she understands that there's no consequences for her actions. In any normal functioning society, if you have a woman behaving in this sort of way, she would be instantly ostracized by her community. And not really just ostracized, but there'd be physical ramifications for what she has done. So I think that's the only thing that really irks me. I expect women like this to do it. Like, I'm not surprised that, she's got bamboozled by some average white guy. I'm just upset at the fact that there hasn't been any significant consequence that has arisen from it. But yeah.
I mean, her money's been taken away, bro. I mean, look, her consequences is the money's gone. The money that she worked hard for has been given away for free. So, I mean, she has faced the consequences, but I get what you're saying, but I think her consequences has been enough. Has been given enough because, I mean, the money she worked for is all gone. You can make it back, but you put yourself on the media to portray the stereotype where you're easy, because ultimately that is easy behavior. To give away money like that, and the person just leaves and disappears, it shows that's easy behavior, brother. So I get what you're saying, but she has faced the punishment, and that's easy behavior from her. She's produced easy life for that man. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, but the punishment's already been done, and that was easy. She gave her money easily away. So you just gotta remember that, bro. Literally.
I can't lie though. If you're white man be running game on black women, I can't lie.
I disagree with that. I would like to say this. The reason, anyway, that she got herself into this position is whether we talk about Nigerian culture or not and how Nigerian men are supposedly providing for women, we have to talk about the reality of the situation. And I've seen a lot of Nigerian men and women are navigating this dynamic with their Black Nigerian man currently. So let's not act as if this is an interracial problem, right? This is a cultural issue that a lot of Black women are navigating because they see that their mom is working, hustling, blah, 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 blah. The guy's just talking about, that's my money. I'm the head of the family, right? This is something that we are navigating in the Black community currently. So to act as if it's just this interracial issue, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think we're ignoring a really major factor that she's just mimicking clearly behaviors that she's seen in the past, whether it was with a white man or I think she would have been the same with a Black man, to be honest. And a lot of Black women are like that.
Okay, so
unfortunately,
I feel like you're finding a way to rope in Black men into this conversation.
No, you guys found a way to rope in yourself. No, see, this is the thing. Now you're trying to backtrack. You guys found a way to rope in yourself. Let me learn. You guys found a way to rope in yourself by making it an interracial issue. By making it
is an interracial issue, though. Come on, man.
Playing the blaming game.
Let me land.
Come on.
Well,
Okay,
let me land. When Black men started talking up and speaking and saying that, oh, it's because she was with a white guy and it's because she's a whitewashed Black woman and all, that's when you made it a race issue. That's when you brought yourself into it.
Very. I feel like you are intentionally missing the point. It is.
I'm being honest.
Me too. Look at the picture on the same screen. It is literally an interracial conflict.
Right. But come on.
Okay.
You just blame Black men for our problems. You and Doctor just blame Black men. What are you talking about?
No, you're projecting.
No.
Oh my God, I'm projecting.
Stay on me. Okay, tell me, February. What I'm saying is this: we cannot ignore the interracial aspect of that because we were talking about. I think a lot of people, including Black men and Black women, and women in general, were saying that the only reason this guy could get this far was because he was white. So
I disagree with that.
Wait up, you disagree with that?
I disagree with that. I would say okay, yeah, sorry.
You think he's him being 6 foot clinical and being white hair, blonde hair, it was literally the thing she led with. You think that did not make this thing success? You think an average Black guy would have gotten this far? Do you think so?
I think the fact is that he was her type. That's what I think it is. I think. Wait, no, wait. Let me finish this. Let me land because I want to make this clear. I think obviously she's into white men, clearly, because when she was bigging him up in the first episode, she was talking about he looked like a group. I had to look him up. I thought I was gonna see something. I didn't see nothing. Okay, but that's just me. But anyway, yeah. So obviously he is her type. I think the issue is Onyeka and how she operates in relationships. And I think the way she operates is the way a lot of Nigerian women operate, whether it's interracial relationship or not. So to say that it's because he's a white guy, I don't know, but I don't agree with that. To say because I think it's because he was her type, and obviously she is into white men. So obviously, let's say if it was a black man. No, but you're not understanding me. I don't know.
Okay. No, very. Actually understand when I understand some of the things you say. Like, your take is not his race, it's her type.
You're right. Which is why exactly in this conversation. But if her type was black men, I'm telling you, she would have been in the same situation. Yes.
You have no evidence. You have no evidence.
No,
Man.
I don't know. I want another woman to speak on it.
If you have evidence, show me the evidence, please.
Me too. I want to see that evidence. Go on, Eno.
Just ask. My question is to the lady. I don't see your name. If what you're saying is right, this man scammed her parents. Do you think if that was Emeka from Onitsha that asked her parents to give him the account details, that their parents would have done it? If we want to have a conversation that is honest and we're not bringing any other sentiment into it, what you see is that it's because he's a white man, period. It's not because he's a man. And to correct you, no Nigerian woman, in fact, Nigeria, if people are talking about other women calling out, I think Nigerian women are pissed. No Nigerian woman is giving a man that money. Like,
right, okay.
Every time
I disagree with that.
You have a problem, I've never given a man money. I don't know a single woman at my age. I've never met any of my friends that's given a man money. Let's start from there.
No, that's not true. I disagree with that.
And the only reason why she did all of that is because he's a white man, period.
Not to be rude, but aren't you married to a white man?
I'm married to a white, but I've never given any man.
No, but I'd like to say this. No, I'd like to say this because I've been seeing a lot of. Because I also.
Can you not interrupt me, please? I've never.
Well, I was talking, but okay, go ahead.
No, go on, Go on.
I've never given any man a dime. That's
right.
one.
Okay.
And no man has ever put me in a position where Onyeka has been. Nobody. In fact, the most issue I've had in my life has been with Nigerian men. Right. And I've always walked away because even at that, they are not more important than me. And being with any man is not more important. And I'm not dreaming of any other thing but myself. If I get to a point, I pick myself and I move on.
Okay. Now, very responsible so that we can give other people. So we can.
Yeah, like I said, like I'm also uncomfortable by the reaction of Black women. I think the way I've seen Black women react to this situation, to be honest, I actually found it very, very disgusting. Whether it's other women who have been successfully with white men, right? Because there are certain successful interracial relationships. Oh, she chose the wrong white man. That's her type and that's what she wants to do, right? Because that's what I'm saying to Miss Becca. Obviously, she's in a marriage. She chose somebody that's appropriate for her. Right. Yeah. So we can say that's right. So we can say that this isn't only an issue to do with his race. There's certain other elements involved as well. Right.
Yeah, I think that's what we're saying too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But when it comes to this conversation, I think a lot of Black women are always so quick to jump on another Black woman and say, "You did X, Y, Z. You could have done X, Y, Z." And I think that's wrong. I think it's really, really wrong. Very well.
So, let's give.
Do you believe in choices then? Can I ask you a question? Do you believe in choices? Just a general question. Do you believe that you don't have a choice?
Do you believe in choices? Ask a different question.
Mimic, ask a question. Double standards, host. You see?
No, I got you. Okay, no, let's
ask the simple question.
Can I answer his question?
No, very. Just like I. Okay, guys, please. And no, relax. Hello, relax.
I love it. I love when they get triggered. It makes me laugh.
You're projecting again.
This is normal.
I think that needed to happen to Onyeka, to be honest with you, because
I was trying to stand up for you, anti raccoon, for her to not do that, but it seems you're fine with it.
No,
Doctor. Okay, cool. Auntie, go ahead. What's your question?
No, all I'm saying is, I respect your panel. If people want to curse, that's fine. I enjoy it. It's only TikTok. But the problem is, people have choices. I mean, she knew what she was getting herself into, and that's her own fault. So the only person that holds herself accountability is her. You trying to say, oh, BLK men need to hold themselves accountable. That's some sisterhood stuff. That's what they do. That's what the sisterhoods will do. They will come together like Power Rangers crew and try and say it's the BLK man's fault. We see this
You
every
have a
day.
problem with black women, sir. You
We
have a
see this every
problem.
day. We see the Power Rangers come. We see the blue Power
You know
Rangers, the
what?
grey Power
All right,
Rangers.
guys,
Kingsley, I'm actually very surprised. I used to join your panels a lot, and I'm very surprised that you're letting someone like
ma'am.
He's
Auntie
always
be on
here
your
chatting
panel.
shit.
This used to be
He's
a very
always chatting
intellectual
shit.
space.
This man here.
Oh, lovely.
He's
Sugar.
auntie. He's always here chatting shit.
It's a shame. I think it's a
Trigger,
shame.
look, I love this. Trigger.
Dr.
I'm not
Flamboyant,
triggered. I
go
just
on.
think
You
you're
can't
embarrassing.
trigger me, because I don't know you and I don't want to know you in real life.
Hey, the host. All
As
I'm
far as
asking
I'm
is, right?
concerned,
The host,
Okay,
you
see?
can't trigger me.
The host, I'm trying to ask you
Anti-raccoon.
something. The host,
Anti-raccoon.
Just
if you
like
have
derailing the
choices,
conversation.
right?
It's sad.
If you have choices, right, of who you date, I'm sure you can do the
Why
vetting one
are
and
we
the
discussing who
look.
we
You
date?
see, the host. Can I go? Can I know my point?
Land.
Go
What
on,
you want to
you go on
talk
land.
though?
You go
I'm
on land.
asking, so
Land.
I don't
Just let
understand why
just
you
let him
get
land.
to talk all the
Eventually
time.
it'll
They're
land.
triggered.
Anti-raccoon, you're gonna land.
I don't
Exactly.
understand.
Stop being a TikTok ranger, please. Let me land. Anyways,
Land your plane, bro. Land your plane.
yeah, I'll
Land
land
your
my plane.
plane.
I'll land my plane real
He
quick.
needs
All I'm
to,
saying is,
because he's annoying as fuck.
I'm trying to land. Honestly, all I'm saying is you have a choice. No one
Yeah, we
should,
know.
no one
Yeah,
should be
you said
blaming
that many
another
times.
race. You have a choice. So
Yeah.
don't play the sisterhood card where you try and blame one side of the gender, because that's what they're doing right now.
Right.
They're doing gender wars. So all I'm saying,
Okay.
host, is people have a choice, and we need
Yes,
to
we
remember
get
that
it, bro.
choice is happening. I land.
All right. Okay, thank
Power
you.
Rangers to go.
Boring.
All right. So Dr. Flamboyant, make your point. Then we're going to go to Delma, Tito, and then we're going to go to Chris. Okay.
I'm saying that, you know what, Onyeka, that needed to happen. You know why? Because to be honest, yeah, a lot of black women who have married white men, they are wealthy men and they take as well. So sometimes exposure to these things needs to happen for people to have awareness, and for also people to take accountability as well for their own actions. Like I feel like she exposed herself to wanting the fame and she didn't know which way it's going to come, if it's going to, she was going to gain sympathy or not, or she was going to, her story was going to be something that is going to help her financially or not. I feel like she exposed herself to that in that sense. Yeah.
Okay. So let's give
I also want to
Delma.
say that I agree with you, what you said, Dr. Financial, because there was a woman like was it last year or the year before that came out with like a 50-part series on what happened to her as well. I don't know if you remember that situation, but she probably saw the positive reaction that she got and thought, well, I have a story too. And like, she thought she was going to get a similar reception, but obviously it's a different situation. So yeah, I do agree that the reason she came out with this is because she thought like she was going to get some fame from it, for sure.
Also, Kingsley, I want to make a reference to one thing.
Dr. Financial, please, Anti-raccoon. I saw a comment you put in the comment section that I don't quite like. Very anti-black.
What did I say?
The weak warriors. I don't like that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I was saying it to another person.
When your parents are failures, your parents are failures. Let's move on, please.
No,
Kingsley.
Please let me fucking speak. Fuck! Jesus Christ, guys. I've been very diplomatic. Let me land. Thank you. Jeez, I'm sorry I had to do that. God damn. Anti-raccoon, I don't appreciate that. As a result of that, I will have to drop you because I don't tolerate. I just like I wouldn't tolerate a disrespect towards black men. I don't like anti-blackness in debate. I let people speak as much as they can. I don't like I don't like when black men are putting that that is weak warriors. That is not cool.
And see, and that goes back to what I was saying. What a lot of black.
That is anti-black. Guys, I know I'm echoing. It is what it is. You deal with it. When I'm speaking, please don't interrupt me. I'm very polite. I'm very kind. If you keep interrupting me, I'll just drop. Galmadito, please go ahead.
Thank you, bro.
Very, I dropped it because you were speaking. I was speaking and you dropped it. I'm gonna drop people that do that. I'm not gonna be patient anymore. Go ahead, Galma.
Thank you, bro. I'm joining you from Nairobi, Kenya. So how we received this news, I will just agree with you and what you've posted up there. She is a willing participant on this. I mean, honestly speaking, guys, there are people out here who are not surprised by fake people, but loyal people do surprise them. There are people whom they are so normal to fake people. They are so accustomed to fake people, but they are not ready to take up loyal people, people who can be really real to them. Honestly speaking, Brother Chaotic, you've studied history. If somebody has a royal lineage, you can search it on Google, you can search it on database. You can be able to know. And what really shocked me with this lady is her sense of financial management. She said she was working in some company at the Wall Street. How come somebody who's an accountant and is good with financial management and everything to do with money does not know that they're being conned, that the money is being taken away from them? I mean, if somebody is really of royal blood, one thing that she should have done, if indeed she is educated historically, you can be able to know. If today you can look at the British monarchy, you can be able to know even up to the last child William had, even last week or last month or something like that. I feel, my brother Chaotic, and this is so painful to say, but the principle of Oyiboness, the principle of Mzungu is what is really eating into our people. They've always been sold this narrative that every white man you see out there, they are well endowed, they have finances, they have means, they have statuses. So she fell for that. She should carry the blame. I don't think that whatever she brought on TikTok should be a sense of sympathy. She's an adult enough to take responsibility. So she was a willing participant and she made losses in the process. I mean, it's as easy as that. I mean, we should be fair enough with taking responsibilities as adults. I mean, how can somebody convince me that if my brother Chaotic Affairs here today is a financial expert, and then to make it worse, somebody has worked in Wall Street. That is the hub of the financial center of the world. And you cannot be able to know that almost $300,000 is being taken away from you in the name of this guy building 1, 2, 3, 4. And honestly speaking, as I learned, my brother Chaotic, any royal family, when it comes to having an apartment, their apartments are listed on royal residence and estate database. Every apartment that is owned by the royal family, if you go and check at the British monarchy, some of the monarchies, their royal apartments are actually gazetted by the government. They are listed. You can be able to check them up. I mean, I'm really trying to understand. I mean, when I saw the news, I looked up at the Danish monarchy. I think the current Danish king is Frederick II. And then I think it's Margaret, I think the queen or something like that. I looked up on the name of that guy. I never found anything. So she was a willing participant and she made a loss. And this is what you get when you follow too much of Oyibonese, my brother. I learned my point. Thank you so much.
No. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gamma, for being a quick, Chris, you're next. But the quick thing, do you think that this story might be fake? Very. I'm actually quite curious to hear, because a lot of people have been putting forward very that I don't know, because she's too smart to be dumb. You know what I mean?
I don't think the story is fake. I don't think.
You don't think so?
I would actually pose that.
Let Ferry go. Ferry, go ahead.
I would actually pose that she's withholding certain things as well. I think, obviously, as a Nigerian, I would actually pose that there's other things that probably happened during the course of their relationship that she's withholding, knowing that she's in the public eye. Obviously, she's going to include like the more kind of, what can I say, the more kind of highlighted financial ones. She can include those, but I think there's other, maybe like cheating, like certain other aspects that I think that she probably didn't include. But I genuinely believe this happened because, like I said, there's a lot of pick-me's in Nigeria. Come on, I've seen a lot of pick-me's in Nigeria. So I definitely believe this. This has nothing to do with her education. It's just the fact that she was just desperate for love. And it's a sad situation. I think it's very sad. I think what happened to her is very, very sad. But then I want to ask like everybody on the panel this question. Do you think the reaction is encouraging her to change? Because if we can recognize that she has certain problems, right? I think we can all agree with that. that there are certain issues that have made her, like, that caused her to be in this situation. But do we feel like the reaction is maybe positive, pushing her towards changing these things? Because I don't know if I don't know if I'd feel like that. I feel like the reaction was very nasty.
Okay, let's keep that for now. Let Chris go first, and then we can address that later. Chris, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with the brother Gamal. Yeah, it's true. If you look at the story, it seems unbelievable because if you look at a lot of the facts, right, it doesn't make sense. How on earth can this man be of royal prominence, right? And then he's bringing grandma to the airport, and literally there's no security or personnel around her. So the only way that I can actually deduce that she was able to believe this is that I think because of her environment, she wanted to live out a certain fantasy in her head, right? That she wants to be with a white man and she wants to go ahead with this ditzy lifestyle, right? And even though, like, I do believe in her head, like there was a percentage in which she didn't believe it was totally true, but she still went along with it because she was so focused on living out that fantasy that it was too much for her to actually believe in the reality because her whole worldview that she's warped, would absolutely go to destruction, right? So I just personally think that she had a certain type of life and a certain type of a fantasy she wanted to live out, and she didn't want to believe the truth because if she believed the truth, then yeah, her dreams would just totally just go to the wayside. So I think it's as simple as that.
No, thanks for that, bro. But if Bharat is not available, we can go for intro. Jerry, you had a question though, right? I think.
Yeah, the question was, do we feel like this reaction is gonna like make a positive change in her? Because if we're talking about that, we're pro-Black and Pan-Africanism and all of these buzzwords, right? Like, is this reaction encouraging certain girls that are like Onyeka? Or is it going to be a hindrance for them to come out and feel comfortable, like reaching out to the Black community about certain things that they're going through and navigating?
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think personally, and this is my personal opinion, I believe in accountability. I believe that all of my own personal issues that I've ever come to face and actually tried to make changes is because people told me the truth. So I'm the friend. If you call me about something, I'll ask you, do you want empathy? Do you want me to listen, or do you want the truth? Because the only way that you can change or even consider that maybe that wasn't such a nice thing is if people are not bathing your feelings. And I feel like as Black women, the world is very harsh on us. So if we cannot tell ourselves the truth, then we're in trouble. So I don't feel like I actually like the reaction that she got. So that people know, yeah, it wasn't okay. It wasn't, yes, if I were Onyeka, first of all, I won't come to the internet. Secondly, if I came to the internet and people would treat, I'll just disappear and go and find somewhere and cry. But it will never be out of, I am upset that people feel a certain way about my story that I shared. I also feel like she came on the internet expecting to get the same reaction that Risa Tisa got.
Yeah,
the difference is Risa told her story in a completely different manner. Risa's story was funny. When I got to the end, I started feeling, oh, poor lady, but her story was filled with self-accountability from beginning to the end. When I watched, I couldn't even watch it. When after a while, I was like, I beg, I don't have time for this, So I personally feel like the reaction was right. I feel like if I have friends in real life, you are my friend. That's how I want you to talk to me. Yes, you are stupid. Don't ever do this again. This is wrong. Otherwise, I wouldn't respect anyone who would not do that for me personally. Like I said, it's my personal opinion.
I feel like this story is not really adding up. Do you know if you are a royalty, you are paid by the state?
She obviously didn't look into it enough.
Look,
that's the issue.
You are paid by the state if you are a royalty. Your residences are managed sometimes by the state and by the royal family themselves. So if somebody is asking for money that they're building something, they're building some kind of a stuff. I mean, when you look at the royal family, the Danish royal family, they have all their nieces, they have all their family members there. So it doesn't really make sense that a royal family member is asking for money. Number two, for those people who watched Netflix, The Crown, I mean,
Yeah.
even when you look at how monarchy marriages, by the time somebody coach you and they identify a lady who is going to marry the royal family member, I'm telling you, it will be years. They will do the coaching, they will do the introduction, and they will even call the press when you guys are officially engaged. They will call the press and they will declare to the public that so and so, for this case, our sister Onyeka, she's engaged to the royal family member of Denmark or something like that. So
No, I think because she's obviously she's American. I think the only royalty that she's seen in her life is probably, you know, those village kings and queens,
this
village
is
royalty. So she thought it was
this
probably a
is
similar thing.
this is basic information, you know, that is out there. And then one thing that doesn't make sense here,
Mhm.
I feel like she knew all these stories, so whatever she shared online,
Mhm.
I feel she still did not recover from this heartbreak.
Yes.
So maybe she even thought the guy is still a royal family member, so she was looking for validation from the internet.
That's possible.
That is possible. Up to now, maybe she thinks the Danish princess is a bloodline of royal family. So she's living in a kind of a denial. So she really wants to get the guy back or something like that, honestly speaking. But I mean, I'm not anti-racial dating and something like that. I mean, it's something that happens out of, like, you know, two people agreeing on different issues and the values that sits with them. But honestly speaking, today, even Chaotic, my brother Chaotic can search the Sultan of Sokoto. They have their website.
Yes.
The Kingdom of Nigeria, they have their website. You can look
Yeah,
at the nieces
that's
and the
true.
families, you know? You can go to Uganda, you can search the Buganda Kingdom. If somebody is from Buganda family, you can easily get it. It doesn't really make sense that somebody who worked in the Wall Street has been conned to this level. And I'm really trying to understand.
That's why I suspect a little bit. Because I don't know. But because
Medal story was very off to me. And another thing is, when I started watching people's reaction, I went back to the point when they just, like, everything was wrong from the beginning.
Right.
And I thought this guy probably drugged her because, you know, he could sense
yeah,
her.
they were saying that he drugged her.
Yeah, I think so. He drugged her because I feel like he saw her. I have experienced a white man like.
My gosh, yes, I agree with that actually. Yeah.
I don't want to bring my story to the internet, but I once dated a man who happened to be white. He tried to love bomb me. I was like, I'm a Nigerian girl. Is it me? What do you want to show me? I haven't seen before. But there was something that happened that I tried to overcome it. I saw a text message on his phone where he was telling this Ukrainian lady that, oh, he's with this person, that's me. I don't want to mention the city I lived at the time in Europe. And that he's with me because I'm a nice person. I'm so kind and caring and loving to him. But she's more beautiful than me. We're on holiday when I saw this. And I wrestled with my thought. I was so frustrated when Kenya, I was torn between enjoying the holiday and trying to believe what I have seen with my own eyes on his phone that he sent. So I'm really wrestling with the thought. And then when we got back to Europe, I already knew the relationship was over because for me, it was either deciding whether or not this was over. We broke up, like we had one conversation. I packed my bag, I left, and I never saw him again. You know, I saw him 2 years after. You know what he said to me? That's when I'm just trying to make a point as to how this white man saw Onyeka and how she played into it, if this story is real, which I believe is real. This man said to me that after 2 years, like I had one conversation with him, I cried because I couldn't believe it. I went to his house, packed my thing, left his key, sent him a picture, that's your key. And I never saw him again. 2 years after, I ran into him randomly. And then he says to me, you know, he was really thinking, there's no way she won't be back. That he once dated a Kenyan girl, and then he still left her. He got married. The girl was still dating him. So because I'm African, he thought there's no way. I'll forgive him at least. He's lying to me. I'm supposed to believe him. I said to him, you know what? I have gotten to the point in my life where if you ever put me between choosing myself and you, I'll always choose myself. And that was what made, I was like, yeah, I saw that you lied, but I tried to convince myself, you know, that maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So it's very, he saw her desperation. Like my ex told me that he thought because he was a white man who had a good job and I'm this African girl, there is no way I'm not desperate to be with him. He told me to my face 2 years after. And for me, what that made me think about this racial relationship is that it's always very imbalanced. So it's not all women that can do it in a healthy way. The man has to know that you will not take rubbish. You will never, ever, ever, ever take rubbish from him, and that he's not special. If he doesn't know that, you will end up like Onyeka. I'll leave it there so other people can speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something. Gala, you come in, brother. But I'll say something to you. Thanks for sharing.
Okay.
Again, like I appreciate that. I'm gonna say this just to piggyback up on what Becca said. A lot of these men know who to target, right? This I think his name is Martin. He knows now. He knew. I'm sure there. Cause let's be practical. I'm pretty sure there are other black women like that. Maybe this is me kind of agreeing with Ferry or something from the beginning. I'm pretty sure there are some black women that he met, so maybe years back or before he met her, and who were like Becca. You know what I mean? Who saw the red flags and just did. You feel me? I'm pretty sure he met black women like that. But as soon as he saw that she changed it, because I think, man, I was hearing stories. I was like, this is unbelievable. There was another one where it's like she DM'd him, and he came with his friend, and she came with her friend. And they went to like a restaurant, and he did not sit with her. He left her in the bar. It was so like I feel like when he saw her doing all those extra steps, it was like,
Yeah, that's a victim right there. Yeah.
bam, exactly. Galma, I wanted to say something quickly and let Galma go. Then I think Ferry wants to make a comment of good smash. And guys, I got like 20 more minutes, and I'm gonna wrap up. Okay?
Yeah, thank you. Chaotic, by the way, like the last royal family member who won a gold medal in Denmark was in 2008. She's called Princess Natalie. She competed in like some rowing kind of event. I don't know if she confused, because the current royal family member in Denmark is serving as a member of International Olympic Committee. He is called Frederick the Fifth. I don't know if she confused that old man with this Danish guy. But honestly speaking, my brother Chaotic, I feel like, I'm really sorry, my sisters, but colonialism never ended. The search and stealing of our natural resource still going on now, relationship-wise. And I don't know. I really try to understand how a Wall Street expert, an IT expert for that matter, can really get conned in such kind of a love story. But yeah, I mean, we sympathize with her, but she's a grown woman. She should take accountability. And yeah, that was my point, my brother. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you. And I'm gonna say this. From what I've seen, I don't think she's coming off authentic. To be honest, like I said, she's trying to get that respect. But anyway, I think Ferry wanted to make a comment. Of course, we're going to go to Marsha. And I think we're going to have one last one. Okay. Ferry, it's all yours.
Yeah, I think she is very Onyeka. I want to give her some grace, but it's difficult because, yeah, she made a lot of terrible decisions, like terrible decision after terrible decision. And I think maybe we have to talk about how African parents don't really prepare their children for like relationships. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like they might prepare you to be a wife, but they don't really show you how you should navigate a relationship. And I think, yeah, and I think that's where like things went really very, very wrong. But yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
I don't know the full story, but I just saw some headlines, and I wanted to say, one, I think she was just in love with the wrong person. But also, what I do know from living in Paris and running around these European circles, the scammers are not just, Nigerians or whatever the case may be. There are a lot of corporate scammers out there that love bomb women and take advantage of money, things like that. But also, the target is mostly African and Black women as well, because they know that the perception of us coming from Africa or Black women, they look up, for whatever reason, look up to certain things about them. So I think Black women have to be careful. When you see whatever, let's say you see a white guy, he's nice, he's tall, he has abs and everything, just don't automatically think that he's doing well for himself. I know a guy that was a construction worker. At nights in clubs, he wears a suit, wears a tie, wears a nice watch. He's out and about, he works in finance, and he's getting girls all the time. If you go to Monaco, go to Split, go to all these cities, Mykonos, there are a bunch of European white males that have all this aesthetics, but really they're not doing so well for themselves. So I think everybody has to be careful. I think she was just in love, and if you're in love or whatever the case may be, you put some certain things aside. But for my own case, I just got caught, that's all. We are African, black people or black women especially, you have to be careful. That's all I have to say.
No, thank you so much for that, man. Guys, so, yeah, it's open panel. Just keep it short because I'm going to have to hop out in like 10 minutes. Actually,
I can't really speak on the African part because I'm actually Caribbean. Obviously, I was raised in London, grew up with loads of like African women, so I was quite surprised to hear this story because I know from different tribes that Igbo women are very strict and they don't play. So for me to hear about an Igbo woman getting scammed was like, even as a Caribbean woman, I was quite shocked myself. In terms of like the racial part of it, I personally think it was because he was white. Because if he was Winston from Jamaica or Temi from, Lagos, I don't think he would have been able to get that far with her and her family. And also it's quite funny that she started her kind of series and stories with, you're going to hear the greatest love story ever told, which makes me think she's not taking accountability and she's a bit delusional, because who starts a story like that and then proceeds to kind of talk about a hellish situation? In addition, Google is free. She had time to Google, immigration lawyers and Google, holiday destinations, but couldn't Google basic stuff. I even Google myself just to see what my digital footprint looks like. But I think what kind of really makes me believe she's not taking accountability is that video she posted kind of bashing black women, because I think the criticism I've seen of her hasn't been unfair. It's actually been like how I would talk to a friend and say, come on, friend, you were a bit silly, you were a bit stupid. Why did you do that? I don't think I've seen any black woman come online and really drag her. So I think that whole kind of criticism about black women being unfair and mean to her is quite unwarranted. I think, in fact, actually, we've spoken to her in a loving way. And actually, white women I've seen white commentators say, actually drag her for filth. So I just think there's a lot of kind of like personally low racial self-esteem. And just from my personal experience of, being a black Caribbean woman growing up in the UK, I'll be honest, a lot of white men do play on the fact that certain black women, and I have to say sometimes my African sisters, they do kind of play into that kind of low racial self-esteem. And sometimes you'll have the basic of white guys, crispy white guys thinking they're better than you. So I think it's just a combination of stuff. But I think personally, I wanted to say that, the criticism from black women has been actually quite kind. We've just said...
Not at all. Come on.
Well, that's your opinion. Yeah, I don't think it's been unfair. I think I've not seen anybody say anything that
we've had people questioning.
Yeah, sorry. I would say it's not been unfair. It's, I have loads of African Nigerian friends, and the way they would talk to me, they would talk to me in that loving way. So I don't think, in fact, actually, it's been the white women that have probably coddled her, and maybe the fact that she doesn't have a lot of black friends kind of shows, because she's kind of taken simple, are you stupid? Why would you give men money as criticism? And that means she's not taking accountability. So I think it's just a combination of things. I think it's low racial self-esteem, low self-esteem within herself, wanting to kind of appeal to whiteness. And, it's quite funny and ironic that she starts off with like the greatest love story. And when she's recounting her story, she's laughing, smiling like she's still in love. So I think there's a lot of... Yes, it was very performative. And I generally think she was hoping for the same response as Risa Teesa. And the difference between her and Risa Teesa is throughout, Risa Teesa took accountability. I understand Onyeka wants to kind of warn other women, and it is working, because recently he was spotted in Mexico scamming other women.
That's another thing.
Yes.
I had it still out just scamming.
Yeah, he's still out there. And it's actually quite ironic. He's going to...
Damn!
He's out here scamming, and he's going to third world countries, Mexico, he's going to Asia, he's going to these countries where personally a lot of the women there probably worship whiteness and kind of will, he's quite a mid-looking white guy. He's not the most good-lookingest white guy.
That's the part that got me the most. This
yeah,
boy's not fine to me.
He wasn't fine. So I just think it's a combination of stuff. But personally, as a Caribbean woman that has loads of like Nigerian sisters and friends, the criticism that I've seen of Onyeka has been actually quite kind. And it would be the way I would talk to a friend and be like, friend, come on now, what was going on? You didn't, when you're trying to date in secret, these things happen. The fact that he literally was able to scam other people, her family, as I said, if that was Winston from Kingston, Jamaica, or whatever guy from, Kenya or whatever, that wouldn't have happened. So I think, Onyeka would do well to kind of look into like the low racial self-esteem she's kind of suffering from. She might not believe she does, but it's very apparent when she talks. Even the way she pronounced her name was just given very, very much like somebody that's not been around a lot of people of her own color kind of thing. So that's what I wanted to say.
Guys, that's why for me, I say, if you're a white guy and you're poor in this world, you're a failure. I'm sorry. Because as a white guy, bro, like, all you have to do is just be in decent shape and just clean up decently nice. And there will be women out there that will fund your life. Either I'm sorry, this might sound mean. Man, I can't lie. But that's why when I see these white things, they're dating is so hard. I'm like, shut up, you're a loser. You're a waste of white. I'm sorry. Do you know how easy it is as a white guy who's in decent shape with decent looks to just make enough? Bro, if I were a white guy, what I would do is the same way I look, just white. I'm in decent shape. Your voice is not bad. All I'll do is this. I'll come on TikTok. I'll just start. I don't even have to talk. I'll just put Afrobeat playing in the back. Maybe I'm driving. I feel like, oh my god. I love this beat. It's so catchy.
Okay, I agree with you.
And I'll be dancing terribly. And then you look at the comment section, it'll be full of women from South Korea. Oh my god! Women from Kenya. Oh my god! Women from Nigeria. I'll be monetized. And then I'll be like, hey guys, I discovered this food. Is it low price? But it's a low price. Oh, it's a low price.
But Kingsley, we have to be. White women do this too. I've seen white women do this too, and they call themselves Oyibo Pepper, Oyibo Katie, Oyibo.
That's going to be the next slide. We're going to focus on the white women that are doing it on black men. Today's on Onyeka. You're right. The white women do it too. See, I say it all the time. And this is probably going to make Sherry happy because she likes to always drag in black men.
Clock it.
So the thing, it's true. White women do this too to black men. I say, listen, the white women you see that pander to black men, they do that as kind of like a laugh. I know a lot of black men don't like what I say because a lot of these women, because especially in African states, you see a lot of the women that kind of pander to like African men. They don't attract women in general. You know what I mean? Like these are women that when I look at them, like, in their community, they don't get shy. In other communities, they wouldn't get shy. The only place they can get shy is with African men. There's one guy that I used to respect. His name, I don't want to say his name, but I logged into my main account 2 weeks ago, and the very first video I saw was of this guy putting 2 pictures of some white woman on his.
No.
And I was like, I thought he was trying to help her out, but then I started listening. Apparently, he paid over $700 of pounds for her to come see him. And this woman is like, I'm sorry, not to be mean, but bro,
right.
She was in her 60s or something, and he was in his 40s. So I'm like, bro, what was this? Like, why is it even the point of conversation? But these women only have these conversations with African men, particularly, because they know those are the cool.
Yeah, particularly.
Take anything. But anyway, let's give October. We're going to give October a chance, and then everybody gets 5 minutes to speak. Then I got a line. Okay, October, go ahead.
What's up, everybody? I'll keep my thing brief. I think that as Black people, we have got to stop calling things racial low self-esteem. In my opinion, when we say people have low self-esteem, that gives people an out, and it gives them they get to feign pity. This lady does not have low racial self-esteem. This lady has racial disdain. You can see that by the people she hangs out with, the type of whiteness that she aligns herself with. This lady likes people like Candace Owens and Donald Trump. This lady does not have low self-esteem. She hates Black people. And as a byproduct of hating black people, she hates
That's true.
herself.
That's
She's
true.
embarrassed.
Like, I forgot about that, brother. That's a good point.
Yes. This lady, for me, there are people who are truly hurt by, like, all black people are hurt by white supremacy. There are people who are really lost in the sauce and are, like, really messed up. That's where I'm saving my pity from. I'm not saving my pity for some lady who got finessed by a white man. And people talk about, oh, he's mid or blah, 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 blah. If I say the word I want to say about her mental state, I will get banned off this live. But she's just not smart. She tried to outdo the doer, and then she came on the internet, and what was she expecting? She expected black people or anybody to rally behind her because she got finessed by a European. Is the world okay? Is everybody okay? Why do people feel bad for this lady? She made her bed, and now she woke up with lice. It is what it is.
I didn't know that she was MAGA, so that's new information for me. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that.
She follows Candace Owens. She was following Trump. I don't know if she still is, and even the way that she like recounted the story, she is in love with that white man.
Yeah, I would say the way she was like smiling about it, it was very strange to me. Like she was kind of smiling, giggling. I found that a bit strange as well.
She represents a lot of Nigerians.
Yeah, that's
She
true.
is, and will back me up on this. A lot of Nigerians in Nigeria are blagger. That's what they call them. Black people that are MAGA. I'm sorry, and that's just the truth. And a lot of Nigerians, I know that, and it's like, listen, I don't.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
so I'm in America. I'm an American.
Sure.
I think that it's like 50-50. There are some black people who come to America, and their parents tell them to avoid black people like the plague. And these people do not realize that they're black until something like this happens to them. A lot of these people, not all, not the majority, come here and think that there is a racial caste system that they're at the top of and that they can really align with whiteness because they're not like the low blacks that are already in America. And it's very weird. Everybody's not like that. I know hella Nigerians, Ghanaians, Cameroonians, Jamaican, everybody come here. It's all lit. We're all black, whatever. Some of these people really come to America or they go to the West with superiority complexes
I
and
was
think that they're
referring
right.
to I was referring to the Nigerians in Nigeria.
Oh, I don't, my bad. I don't have an opinion on that. I've never been.
No. That's what I'm telling you. A lot of, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the comment section, there's somebody who put it there. The one fat book who tends to do that. That's what I'm saying. That's what that's what I mean by a lot of Nigerians. Because most Nigerians are in Nigeria. She represents a lot of them. Because a lot of them, that's where this racial stuff still comes in. That's why I put it there, right? A lot of Nigerians, because of the religion of Christianity, they don't realize that by default, subconsciously, your mental loyalty is to the white. That is why anytime they want to associate themselves, they will always associate themselves to the white person, or the person that, even if it's oppressing black people, they will still align themselves. That is why when non-Nigerians have some beef towards Nigerians, I sometimes don't. I just I kind of see where they're coming from because we blind, because a lot of, and I have this even with my own family, right? Genuinely, I've had really, really strong conversations with my parents, even with my dad. Well-educated man, but when it comes to like this religious or religious adjacent conversation, he just becomes a zombie. It is weird to me. This man can give you conversations from history, but it's like, oh, daddy, what do you think about this country versus this country? Zombie. Oh, this country, it is written. It was given to them. I'm like, what do you mean by that? But that's the way they see things. It is terrible. But anyway, I'm gonna mute. I think we have 15 minutes, guys. You guys can use the time as you wish. I'm gonna be on mute.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's more the sense of Nigeria is still very conservative in its values. So they have a tendency to align with Trump because they view him as more conservative versus like the liberals who were what they view as, gay and not following God and all of these things. So
Like,
it's a shame.
people are in America anyway. Most black people are conservative, with the exception of race. if there was no such thing as racism, most black people, regardless of their ethnicity, would vote conservative. The reason most people don't is because of racism.
Yeah.
I think some of these people are just color struck and really believe that white people's ice is colder.
Yeah. I think Masha wanted to say something. Go ahead, Masha. Masha, just control the heavy breathing, okay? Please, let's not give the wrong impression.
Okay. So what I want to say is I've had a kind of a similar experience with this lady. Not that I was hustled or anything, but when as I'm a black person or an African person, you come into Europe or to the States or whatever, and you go into these white spaces, you're a target. You're a target. Because you don't have the background of your community with you. If you're going to the mainstream clubs, you're going to these fancy dinners and all these places, you're a target and you're vulnerable. I've had experiences like this where I went to a fancy place, I went to Fashion Week, and someone comes up to me and just says things about, oh, I want to be with a black woman, can you hook me up, things like that. So if you don't have the mental strength to withstand those little microaggressions or little things, or be strong to make decisions to protect yourself, you're going to fall into all these traps that are being set for you. I started going into these spaces with my Afro brothers because of, I'm trying to network and grow my community and try to grow my personal portfolio as well. So whenever I go for all these things, I try to go with with an Afro person, because me by myself, I'm 6'8", I'm very tall, I'm still a target. So you can imagine what this lady had to go through by herself in these spaces. So that's just what I wanted to say, that if you come out of a community, try to go into the corporate America, trying to these top aesthetic places, you have to be mentally ready to deal with a lot of things. That's all I have to say.
All right, got you. I think if Ferry wanted to say something, or Estango, or Zalma, or everybody gets 3 minutes to make their to make their point, last point, and then we can call it a day. Whoever unmutes first can go.
Yeah, I would like to say that I can understand why people are saying yes, we should hold her accountable in all of these things. And though I agree to that to a certain extent, I feel like it's gone past the point of accountability, and it has kind of gone into bullying, right? When I'm saying that, like, we're saying that Black women have been supportive, I disagree with that. I'm sorry. I think it's been very nasty. There's been comments about her appearance, comments about her intelligence, the fact that she puts her hair behind her ears, all of these things that are honestly quite irrelevant to the story. Right.
That is not the
I would say it's the majority that are.
No, it's not the majority.
Do you know what from my timeline, from what I seen on my timeline, I think it is a lot of Black women that are feeding into this, and maybe it's just a joke about the situation, but it's out there, and it's a lot of people. Like, I'm seeing these comments with thousands and thousands of likes. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, there's other people that are doing it in a more healthy way, but I think a lot of people have kind of used her to kind of jump on Black women and jump on Nigerians, and I don't like it. I think it's very inappropriate. Like, I disagree with like the way she handled herself in this situation. I even disagree with the way she even portrayed the story, because, like I said, she was giggling, laughing, smiling like she would do it all again tomorrow. You understand what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this issue, there's like deeper roots to this, and it's more of a sense that we need to look at, why do Black women feel like we have to be of service in relationships? You understand what I'm trying to say? Why does it seem like we gotta fight for something? Like, everybody's addicted to the struggle in the community for some reason, some way, shape, or form.
I have
You get what I mean?
really, I think this is an issue.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you in a minute.
Okay.
One thing I do agree with you, Ferry, is that I think the Black community does like a nice struggle up.
Yeah.
I think we all need to sit down and talk about that as well. I don't think there has to be suffering at all. In people across the world, like, because I've even seen Black American men say, "Oh, she's gotta, prove herself, ride or die." And I've seen African men say, "Oh man, she's not with me in the struggle." body. Why does there have to be a struggle in the first place? Like, why? I don't know.
Okay,
I'll
bye
end it.
guys. Have a good night.
So, thank you, dear. See you next time. So, Esther, the floor is yours. Then we go to Marsh. Then we go to John.
Yeah, I think conversations like this are very much needed in like the Black community, but I think sometimes we are at danger of kind of like having one world view on what like Blackness is. And again, I don't agree with like what the previous speaker said about, you know, people bullying her, you know, and the example she gives is her putting her hair behind her ears. You know, I don't know why that would be classed as bullying. But what I would say is that Onyeka also was quite, you know, said a lot of disdainful stuff about the lady that Martin was seen getting $40 out of the cash point for. And, you know, if you're saying one thing, which is that, you know, Black women are bullying her and her appearance, well, Onyeka did the same thing with the lady that was seen with Martin. So I think we have to be really careful with, you know, claims of bullying, because again, the examples people are giving are just, you know, she puts her hair behind her ears. Again, I wouldn't class that as bullying. I think the problem and the biggest issue is obviously Onyeka, it's very clear that she's still very much in love with the guy. When she was telling the story, smiling, you know, laughing, the fact that she got married but behind her parents' back just proves a lot. So I think, you know, she needs to take accountability in the sense of identifying areas where she messed up so she doesn't repeat that cycle again, because who's to say
I don't think she's a good person. I personally, like Eno said, I honestly, Elizabeth, I don't think it's harsh, because I look at pattern. I'm a pattern recognition kind of guy, Esther, and I get it if you don't agree with me. But I personally, from what I have seen, and I'm putting emotions, oh, it's harsh or not. It's when you're an adult, please stop that, right? She's not a good person, because there are a lot of things that she did after knowing who this guy was. I'm like, no. You put your friends in harm's way. You put your mother. Apparently, there was one where she even asked her mother to give him her bank account, knowing well what the guy. Come on, man. That's not what you would do if you're a good person.
Exactly, and I agree, because, you know, after finding out the guy had 34 cents in his account, she still married him. She was still planning the 2 destination weddings. So for me, you know, if you find out that somebody not only is a liar but also is scamming all your friends and nearest and dearest, you know, it kind of makes you kind of, you know, part of the deal. Kind of, you know, it kind of makes me think she's omitting a lot of parts from her story, and I think that's why there's been such a massive disconnect between the viewers. Whereas Risa Tisa, we all kind of said the same thing. She was a bit silly for doing what she did, but she took accountability. Whereas in this one, you know, she's trying to warn women about this guy, but she hasn't actually ever given his name. It was only people that found out his name and where he's from. So if she really wanted to warn women, she would come out and say his full name, right?
Right.
And the fact that she only got divorced in November.
She left her, by the way. Remember that.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's you know, this is a story. Maybe it didn't land the way she thought. She thought maybe, you know, all Black women were gonna connect behind her story. This was like a bad white guy. And yeah, those two things can be true. But I think, you know, there's a part where she needs to kind of own up and just say, you know what, I was bamboozled by the fact that he had this royal connection. I thought I was going to be the next Meghan Markle, Candice Owen, you know, and it turned out to be a nightmare. And as one of the panelists mentioned, sometimes, you know, people from the diaspora, when they move to America, they have this kind of idea of the good immigrant, you know, I'm educated, therefore I'm more aligned with whiteness, when actually what we're seeing is that all immigrants are being treated badly in America right now. So Onyeka's story is, you know, I would say is definitely connected to diaspora. I've seen commentary from Caribbeans, Arabs, everyone, all in agreement, and that's really hard to happen sometimes. So yeah, I'll just end that just saying accountability is a really good thing to do. I just don't think Onyeka's there at the moment. She might be there in a year's time, but the story's just too fresh. The fact that she only got divorce finalized in beginning of November, still very much in love with him. But in a year's time, let's see how she kind of plays this. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And just thank you for the good discussion today.
Pleasure, Esther. Hope to see you again. Well, I'll say that. I don't care what she does. I'm just using her. I don't think she's not a good person. I see her as an op to Black people in general, because I know her type. She's not an ally to Black women. I'll tell you that for free. So all the people trying to give her empathy. She's the kind of, I can guarantee you, she's the kind of black woman that will tell her white friend, "This is why I don't really like black people. You know, I can expect my bottom dollar." She mentions things like that. I know her type. Or this, this is why I don't really associate with Nigerians. You know, I don't, because even one of the guys that her guy scammed, he said, "Oh, but I thought you were in on it." I don't know if you remember that part where she met one rich guy apparently that had marked the scam, and he was like, "Oh, but you're Nigerian. I assume you're in on it because Nigerians are scammers." That was when you would have smacked the crap out of people. She was like, "Oh, that's true." You see, and okay. I was like, yeah. Every other redeeming thing that she could have had is out of the way. But anyway, let's give it to Marsha. Sandra, you can drop here. Thank you so much for let's give it to
Thank
Marsha
you.
to wrap up. Have a nice one, okay? Marsha, floor is yours, bro.
Well, you made a point there. She probably is one of those people that puts down Afro-ness and black people and Nigerians in the presence of others. Because to survive in those spaces, you have to say certain things like that so that they'll tell you, "Oh, you're not like the other ones. You're not like the other ones," you know? But anyway, that's enough for me. I just wanted to say hello to you, brother. And I'll send you a message and we should keep in touch, yeah?
Absolutely, bro. Good to see
Yeah.
you, man. Hope
Yeah.
we'll catch up again soon. I'll call my brother.
We'll catch up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I don't have anything to say. Just a message to our sisters. Please, 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 please take accountability on the things you do. It's what I call the basic principle that everybody should have out there. I mean, getting to know a few things. And I really feel bad for her that she has really put the whole community in jeopardy now because of how we are viewed and of how, a similar thing that is happening. I will give her the flowers. Maybe it's a form of awareness, but at the same time, my brother Chaotic, it's just look for love at home. The best form of love you can ever find is back in the African continent. Yeah. Do not walk around looking for. I know what the interracial couples that I know here in Germany are going through big time. The kind of validation, the kind of social media appearances and likes and virality that they always yearn for. This is a very toxic thing that is really happening, and it should never be one-sided. I've seen all the interracial relationships. A good number of them are always, it's the person from the global south who is doing twice or thrice what the white man or the Oyibo is doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's weird, huh?
So, yeah, we need this energy to build our African homes. We can't build other people's continental homes. They will just end up taking more 300,000 from our accounts. Yeah, so bro, that was my point, and thank you so much for your time.
No, Galma, I really like the way you put your point forward.
Thank you, bro.
Eno, you last but not least.
I really like what he said, but I think I like this conversation a lot because it's making us, look back at these unequal power dynamics when we relate with people from the global north. Any kind of relationship, to be honest. But I think for Onyeka, taking accountability, if she had told the story, I was just waiting. Let me see if she will ever get to the point where she says, "You know what? I was desperate for a white man. That was my dream when I was a teenager. And I was willing to do anything." If she had said that, I'll have empathy for her. But the fact that she made it seem like the other lady said, story, I was like, at a point I thought she was high on drugs. I was like, there's no way someone did all of that to you. And to me, it showed me a lot of things that she's not a good person. So, Nigerian woman, Onyeka does not represent us. And as the other speaker said, there's a lot of interracial couples doing anything. That's except me. I don't do that. You're a woman, you're going to be with a white man, you have to be from a position of power. You have to understand how power dynamic works. You have to always know they colonized you, so the power is already imbalanced. So if you're not, it has to benefit you more. If it's not, then you're wasting. You're stupid. You might as well suffer. You might as well be paying twice as much for an African man than bringing money from Africa to your colonizer. So to me, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's not all. Thank you. And next time we have to have this conversation the other way around. Black men.
No, yeah. The next one will be on black men, and you made a point, man, that I really like. It has to be on a position of power. Guys, it's been a good conversation, intense, and I like when we have these conversations. It's pretty nice. I like to have this kind of conversation with the community because it's actually it's a good way for us to actually see what's going on community wise, right? And to hold ourselves accountable. So to everybody that gifted, thank you so much. To those that tapped, thank you as well. Those that the panelists, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Those in the comment section, I really do appreciate everything. And yeah, we cannot deny that his race had a role to play. I mean, that's why for me personally, I always recommend people to have some pride in themselves. Damn, have some self-confidence, have some self-pride. Stop being so thirsty. It's okay to have a preference. If your preference is non-black people, that's fine. I'm not gonna try to force you to have a particular type of preference. All I'm gonna say is have some self-awareness, have some self-love. I think you cannot love someone else if you don't really love yourself and love everything about yourself. That's all it is. If you don't love who you are, and I think the parents need a big responsibility here. I mean, I think it's quite clear that she comes from a background that her parents wanted her to gravitate away from blackness as much as possible. And that never works out. Your power, and I say this to people, your power is your community, period. No, your power is your community. Your power is your community there. And if they ever convince you to hate your community, you're weak. Absolutely, you're weak. You understand? So any African parent who goes to America or Europe and the first thing you're doing is take your kid away from their community, you fail. You fail. You know that's and no matter how much you try to bend and break and adjust, you will never be part of the club. Period. So no matter how much when I look at Onyeka, I see a young girl because this is not something that just happened. This is something that has happened since she was a child. You know what I mean? So I give her some grace. When I look at her, I see a girl who, based on her conditioning from her family, she's always, maybe they force her to go there. And Lord knows the kind of BS she's had to take. You know, Lord knows the kind of insults and the passive aggressiveness, microaggressions, the comments here, the comments there. Because whether you like it or not, to be even a part of that club, you will have to accept some disrespect. Period. You know, whether you like it or not. Because as a black person who's following certain controversial people, you will have to, a piece of your soul will have to fade away, if that makes any sense, right? But anyway, guys, I appreciate you all. Thanks for keeping me company. It's been a fun conversation. And to Auntie Raccoon, bro, I like your energy, but you know, I had to mute you because you say some anti-black stuff about black women, and I don't stand for that. But yeah, I think Auntie Raccoon, your heart is in the right place. I just feel like you need to control, you know, what you say, and you also have some animosity towards black women. I feel like you need to address that. But other than that, guys, thanks for keeping me company. Take care of yourself. Peace out.